You know, what's interesting to me is that before Musk bought Twitter, I don't recall hearing anyone from the Biden administration or the Washington establishment or the EU complaining about how dangerous Twitter is or how it poses a threat to our democracy, which really just shows they don't care about free speech. They don't care about democracy. The reason why they're so concerned, they're so afraid and upset right now is because they no longer can control Twitter. They can no longer use this platform as their propaganda arm to silence voices they don't like and to push out the narratives that they want to push out. And so that really is what is the crux of the issue here. And the Biden administration is showing exactly how autocratic and dictatorial they really are. You know, they claim to be, hey, we have to spread democracy and defeat autocracy around the world, but their own hypocrisy through their actions is pointing out they're interested in suppressing freedom of speech and silencing voices that dare to challenge or question them, not only right here at home, but as you're seeing now in the EU, European countries, and in other countries around the world.
Now, it's not just this Musk thing, though, Tulsi, because Senator Hawley, he got his hands on documents that the DHS Disinformation Board had been operating months before the public even knew about it. Apparently, the board discussed an analytic exchange with big tech, and emails reveal plans for a meeting with the Facebook official who suppressed the New York Post Hunter Biden story. This is staggering. The lengths to which they would go to control speech, discourse, and debate in the United States, and this is just more evidence of it.
It is, and I'm sure that this is not the only piece of evidence that exists. Again, they're showing their hand. They say a lot of nice things about defending freedom and their concern for protecting democracy. We heard a lot of that leading up to this last election, especially, but their actions tell a very different story, a very chilling story about how they're abusing their position of power and directly undermining our right to free speech and using both the levers of government through Department of Homeland Security, as well as their partners who will do their bidding in social media to do that, to silence us, to silence those who dare to challenge them, and to advance whatever their propaganda or their agenda or narrative of the day is. Congress, I hope Congress has the guts to really look into this, to demand the truth and the facts for the American people. And I think they should also ask some questions about what kind of communications the White House had with the EU or European countries about this Twitter thing, and whether or not the White House was using kind of its power and pressure to get the EU to do its political bidding and advance their own agenda.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly were interested in President Trump's phone calls with Zelensky. What about their phone calls? It'd be nice to see those transcripts. Now, the White House coronavirus response coordinator was asked about this report, Tulsi, that Twitter was no longer banning COVID misinformation. Now, listen to what he said.
People deserve quality, science-driven information, and that should be available to them online. The cost of not having that is the fact that hundreds of Americans are dying unnecessarily of a virus, where if people got up to date on their vaccines, Nicole, and if people took treatments that are now widely available and free, we could drive that 300 deaths a day to close to zero.
Wow.
So the cost of that misinformation is very large.
The misinformation, the cost of that misinformation, really? Because now most of the people dying of COVID have been vaccinated. Tulsi, these are just more lies. They don't stop.
It's outrageous. It's outrageous for him to say that. Look into the camera, speaking to the American people, when he and Fauci and others within the administration have been lying to all of us for years now, whether it was about masks or it's about the vaccine, saying if you get the vaccine, you can't catch COVID or spread it. I mean, it sickens me to see how blatantly lying they are to the people. Everybody should know that and see it with clear eyes.